Hello, everyone. Most of you have probably come across a boulder in the path, per se. A situation where you had some sort of hardship, a problematic issue where you fell down hard and you had to get back up. Today I would like to share with you guys a quote. It goes, "Don't look where you fall, but where you slipped." This really hit me hard and it made me think of many situations where myself, I've fallen hard and I didn't really notice where I slipped up that led to that hard fall. I have many examples that came to mind. I would like to share with you guys a few examples that really stood out to me, and those are an example from my school environment as well as my workplace environment. The first example is I had my first year of college. I was very, just, oh, I'll do fine on the test. I don't need to study. I'm just going to go into the test. I'll do okay. I'll just wing it. I'm just going to go for it. And that led to some pretty horrible grades, which really were detrimental to my school life. But I started to really think about it, and that was actually this year where I changed my pattern. I took the appropriate stepping stones that allowed me to not fall. Instead, I stopped where the slips were, like the quote says. I made sure I studied right. I did everything I needed to do to get to that class and to that test and have no issue, have no worries, no winging it, just went into it knowing that I'm going to do well, and I took the appropriate path. Another example I'd like to share with you guys is about my work environment. It was probably 2 years ago. I got hired at Disneyland, actually, a brand new job. I went in there and I was like, I'm going to do my best because I want to get noticed. I went into there and I had a boss. He was very, very vague. He was very broad, like he didn't give much. He was talking to a wall almost, per se. He would just, like I said, very broad. So I continued to do my best. I, did the extra effort, giving my full effort, everything. And months go by, still, he kind of just doesn't acknowledge me, he just does his thing. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'll keep going. I'm just going to keep grinding on, getting what I want to do and succeed and try to move up. And then one day he calls me into his office and he says, "Hey, I would like to thank you for all the hard work you've done. Here's a little token of, for doing your job well." And he hands me a gift card to a restaurant, and I said, wow, I wasn't expecting this at all, because this is the guy that was straight-faced, blank guy that never gave me any sort of appraise or anything like that. So it was very strange. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I kept the right effort, I kept the right mentality. I just kept going, didn't slip up, made sure I was taking the right stepping stones to get to where I wanted to be. And this is where it comes back to the quote, "Don't look where you fall, where you slipped." I made sure, with my schoolwork, I made sure I would not slip up again and fail those tests or just wing those tests. I made sure I took the right steps to getting what I wanted, what grade I wanted. And then the same thing as my workplace. I wanted to achieve, I wanted to move up, I wanted him to give me some sort of recognition at least. And eventually it paid off. I worked hard and he gave me what I wanted. And like I said, it just comes back to the quote. And it shows you that in life, if you want to achieve a certain thing, you got to look back to what the appropriate steps are to getting that, whatever it is you want in life. Thank you.
You want this here?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
All right, the visualization at the beginning is okay, but it's a little obvious. The transition to the topic I thought was actually pretty good, and you have a good preview of what you're going to be talking about, so we know the illustrations that you're going to discuss. And when it comes to content, the school example, despite the fact that it's a personal example, it remains pretty abstract. I don't know exactly what kind of class it was. I don't know why you thought you could breeze through it without doing any of the extra work, that sort of thing. Your Disney example, though, was a little bit more effective, even though you sometimes struggle a little bit by being able to describe how impassive your boss was. You still had some events that are going there, and it seemed like you were more able to talk about it. It made more sense to you, and it fit into your story a little bit better. So that's a good illustration of the thing that I've been telling everybody here. The more you make it real, the more you make it about something that you know and can just talk about that, the easier it'll be for you. The delivery things, 80% of what you're doing is great. Your voice is good, your facial expressions are animated, you're usually looking at people, your gestures are involved. Okay, guys, what's his issue? Yeah, you've got nervous feet, you got dancing feet, you're all over the place. You need to kind of settle your feet down a little bit and take a position. Use that position to, like we talked about, talk about a particular subject, and then when you move, make your movement purposeful. Because your movements are not purposeful. That's just all straight anxiety stuff coming out in your feet. It's like, I got to get it out somehow. So even you're in one point and you're in 6 different places when you're talking about the one point. And then you do have a purposeful movement when you're moving and transitioning to the next idea. The problem is we wouldn't know it because you've got all of those other things that you keep doing again. So that'll be one of those things that you can work on. Like I said, almost everything else is solid, but that'll be something that you really need to think about. Force yourself to stand in a position, speak to us, and then when you move your feet, move them deliberately. Okay, thank you.